are a form of Please note these are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. The ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? He'll take your hand off my penis.
The Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid.
Stay cheesy. Alrighty, and one more sound. Alrighty, and we are ready to go. How's it going, beautiful chickadees, my wonderful starflies? Thanks a lot for the last two episodes. It's been really nice. Just like I said, sometimes we really need just a break from the politics. Honestly, like you cannot do that to yourself for too long. Like no one should. There are a lot of people that have podcasts and shows and all that stuff. Fuck it. I'm not going to put on all that stuff. So, what's it called? My point is that I've been watching a lot of horror movies for the last couple days, and you guys have been awesome about the reefer reviews that we've been doing, and we're going to definitely be doing more of that. I was just kind of taking a break from the horror films, so that way they wouldn't get too monotonous. Now, when you're watching any genre of film, you might get tired of it after a while. So, when you're talking about film genres, and we're talking about horror especially, there's only so much blood and guts you can watch, and then you're going to stop taking the movie seriously. You're going to stop being able to follow along, and you're just going to constantly make these comparisons, and you don't want to do that. So, yeah, thanks to Shudder, I will have plenty more reviews coming up. But right now, what I found the most interesting was, taking a break from the blood and gore for a second and try to get back just to watch something else. And I realized that this is like full chaos cult mode in the current world we live in, and the fucking political climate. So it reminds me a lot of if you were a kid and you ever played Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You didn't have to be a kid. You play the game, and I've only seen one guy do this. I could never do it. I'll be honest. I could never do it. In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you have to get all these Chaos Emeralds to go into what's called Chaos Mode. And this will happen after you get, 6 or 5 of these Chaos Emeralds. So you have to go through 5 or 6 different races. Now, once you beat those races and you've outrun everybody, then you get that Chaos Mode, and it sucks because it is so fucking intense. It's too fast. You end up falling off a ship. You can't jump in time. You have to have super good reflexes, or at least know, the level by heart. And if you don't, then you're gonna die. That's how it was with a lot of the games when I was a kid. Everything was done in these patterns. So take the game Battletoads, for instance. There's a level where you're playing as a hovercraft. And so you got to jump over these crazy ass walls and avoid the walls. So some you can jump over, some you have to use as a ramp, and some you have to just completely avoid. And so again, when you have too much speed, you will crash unless you know this section by heart. And there isn't a better analogy to talk about this Trump cult than chaos mode, where you are so goddamn untouchable that you're just falling off of everything because you have no control over the actual chaos, dude. So, look at this Trump cult, and I'm going to show you a few things that honestly put more fear in me than any of these horror movies I could ever fucking watch in a million years, because nothing is more terrifying than real life. And nothing, there's apparently some new movie out, and I guess the guy wears a Carver mask, from the old Confederate days. And so people are literally running from a dude in a John Carver mask. And a friend of mine told me about this. And when she told me about it, I thought it was hysterical. It just sounded like a bad idea. But it is just really strange that we live in this never-ending loop of insanity. And so, I'm sorry, I actually lost my train of thought. My point is that, with all the horror movies that I could watch. Oh, yeah, so the Carver movie, I'm sorry. So anyway, there's nothing more terrifying than an old white dude obsessed with colonialism. That's the point, all right? I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm fucking not high enough. You can't get high enough for this show, sure. All right, so let me stop rambling, and let's go on to the first stop. Let's go ahead and look at the Trump cult, and we're going to look at a couple of videos. He had a recent party over at Mar-a-Lago, and then tries to tell people that he doesn't rent this place out often because, as you know, there's sensitive documents. He literally fucking said that. And for all the people that actually think that Black Lives Matter has anything to do with this Trump cult, you are so fucking out of touch. You have to be from another fucking country. All right. When you now have this douchebag running around saying that he is literally raging war, all out war against American democracy, now we have a real problem. That is treason. That is fucking treason. And to have lawyers go around and say, hey, he never said he was going to uphold the Constitution. Yeah, let's not uphold the very thing that started our country and what our basis of belief was founded upon. Yeah, right. Let's put an end to the American experiment because we're such a young country. Why should we live that long? It's insanity. And I'm currently reading Peril, which is a book by Rachel Maddow. And I'm sorry, not Peril, Prequel. And it is a very, very good book. And so what Rachel Maddow is doing in this book is basically explaining to you that we've been here before. So when you actually listen to her, now I can understand if you don't like Rachel Maddow, she can come off a little holier than thou sometimes. But if you were to, just focus on the book, nothing else. So we're just talking about the book. Now, what's interesting is the fact that in the, turn of the war, once Hitler started getting really big in Berlin and was moving his way forward, we had a lot of crazy Nazi sympathizers at the time. Now, Prequel explains how these people were insurrectionists and these people were being supportive of Adolf Hitler. And so Philip Johnson, who was an American architect, became one of the most famous, well-known architects in New York, was trying to help fund a anti-Roosevelt and anti-American campaign to stand with fascist dictators, kill Jews, and anyone that is an Aryan nation. So we've been here before, folks. We've been here before. And we don't need to fucking relive this, man. I don't get it. So let's start off. I want to start off with, you know what? Fuck it. Let's start off with the Mar-a-Lago party because I find this really interesting. If you guys ever watched the television show Succession, you guys know right away that this is a story about the obvious comparisons of the Murdochs and the Trump family. They're kind of coinciding in this story, in those storylines. Now, here's a man having his little white nation party. And this is what I'm saying. If you think Black Lives Matter has anything to do with this, you're fucking insane. There's not one black person in this fucking footage. I have not seen one. Nazi. But yeah, these fucking assholes are putting out books like Marjorie Taylor Greene's book. That's like number, what, 10,000? I think it's still like, she got in the top 10,000 list. And Ted Cruz's book, Unwoke or whatever. Like, first off, dude, you are way too late with that book. And second of all, how much airbrushing can we get to make this guy look less like Gollum? It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, he's such a fucking tool. And his book had a asterisk on it, which the New York Times bestsellers list will put a asterisk on there if there's any suspicion that it's not being bought by regular people. So if it's being bought in bulk, like big pallets of these books, there will be an asterisk next to it saying that it's being performing well, but commercially, not on an individual sales basis. So those get a little asterisk, kind of meaning you will not see this here very long. There's a bunch of people paying for these books. I don't know what they do with them. I mean, shit, if you're going to burn anything for firewood, you know, get all those books. And so, yeah, these books are just pathetic. And the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene puts out a book for her crowd who doesn't know how to read is fucking hysterical. And it really goes to show you how empty these people really are. Because these are the type of people that will have every intellectual book that is popular at that time, like the 45 Rules of Power, for instance. You'll go to Trump's house, see the 45 Rules of Power. I guarantee you, if you open any book in his house, it will make a very crisp sound because he has never read in his fucking life. And it's pretty obvious that he's only read Forbes magazine for the last 40 fucking years. So right off the bat, please don't throw this dumb shit. Because remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene actually hid underneath a fucking desk because she and her fucking crazy Nazis fucking sympathizing friend of hers, some congressman, I forgot who it was, and she said, luckily he was armed. And then she literally puts in her book because she was afraid of the fucking Black Lives Matter and Antifa were setting up this insurrection. Is that your way of hiding away from saying I was afraid of my own crazy ass fucking nut job base of a fucking crowd? Like, is that what you're really trying to do? I don't get it. Because again, this is a private fucking party at Mar-a-Lago, and I can't find a single fucking black person. So how is this being done so secretly? It's hilarious. All right, so let's watch.
Being here, but we have, they wanted to use the place, so they said, Janine, how did this happen? How did this happen? This place
when
is
you've
packed.
never drank in your life.
We love everything you stand for. Very, very special. And we don't let people use Mar-a-Lago very much. And because, as you know, we hold very, very important documents.
That's
Bam, right
Trump
there.
Saying that he
Documents.
doesn't throw a...
What the fuck? The guy literally just said, because as you know, we have important documents. So, really, dude? Are you just trying to give yourself up or something? Like, sometimes I wonder if he's tanking on purpose because he just doesn't give a shit. And he's like, you fucking idiots keep voting for me anyway. So we're moving on a little bit to Kimberly Guilfoyle. Now, this is why I brought up Succession, because in the television show Succession, we understand how rich people really do act. And I like the inside look of how rich people really do act, and how there's one son who is like a borderline sociopath that is obsessed with fucking his dead mother. And so that's why she goes to, she really likes this one specific lawyer that the family has, because she's very cruel to him, because she knows he likes it. And it is so fucking weird. But that is how these rich fucking inbred bastards walk around. And this is what generational wealth is fucking really looks like. These inbred fucking morons right here. This is why when they try to say generational wealth, you're full of shit. It's fucking slave labor most of your fucking families got rich off of. So, yeah, if I had a bunch of white people running my shit, I'd be rich too, motherfucker. So, I want to talk about Kimberly Guilfoyle because she is such a strange opportunist that I have noticed that her mannerisms. Now, I study people for fun. This is not what I do for a living, but I love psychology. Now, if you notice, everything she does is always exactly what she knows Donald Trump will love. Not Donald Trump Jr., her own husband. No, I swear to God, she is trying to frog leap onto Trump's balls. And look how she constantly keeps changing her eyes and narrowing them down to look more and more like Melania every day. So what are you planning?
Impact Wealth magazine.
By the way, Impact Wealth magazine is literally a magazine for rich, young pieces of dog shit.
Is a luxury lifestyle magazine that caters to ultra high net worth individuals and family office industry. It sounds like it's very relatable to most of us Americans out there. And speaking about relatable, here were the photos of Kimberly Guilfoyle that
see the relatable photos
event and in this magazine.
Doesn't it just scream regular America? Like, how do you look at that photo and not think, blue collar America? Probably because you're a bunch of elitist white supremacists in a psycho cult that doesn't even believe in itself. Maybe.
Off Media, which did the photographs.
I mean, how much airbrushing can you really do?
Another photo.
Look at the fucking airbrushing. See, I'm going to talk over Ben because I love Ben myself, but let's just talk over him. Now, look at Kimberly here. Again, pay attention to the eyes, the nose, and the brow. She is slimming her face down because she knows she has a wide camel face. She has a natural camel face. And so she's got, RBF galore. I think she has resting bitch face and conscious bitch face. But yeah, let's just see in the next few years. Let's see what happens. But I have a strong feeling that she is going to try to frog leap.
Oh my God. What in the world are we even looking at?
No shit. So this is okay. Oh yeah, that was the main picture I want to talk about, was like this one. And again, like when I'm talking about Kimberly Guilfoyle and how she dresses to seemingly impress daddy-in-law, not my own husband. So it's just really interesting to see that. And so it will not surprise me when it happens.
Looking at it. And I apologize.
Now, I love that he says, I apologize for showing you this horrible cunt. But yeah, look at that. Obviously very white, glittery. I mean, it's exactly what Trump loves. He loves, the Eastern European kind of look. And it seems like she is trying to slim herself down in the face and look more and more appealing to him. And this is just what I get out of, skankolas like this. I mean, wow. This is a full-on picture of 3 succubuses and what it would look like if succubuses could go to parties. Now, here's another example of what I'm talking about. How the fuck are you afraid of Antifa and Black Lives Matter? Oh, that's right, because you've never been around black people. Look at anyone in the background. You will not find any black people. I've been looking. I'm trying to find any Hispanics, anybody that I could fucking hang out with. So, nope, mostly just white privileged bitches. Now, here's these fucking, oh God, all 3 of these cunts are trying for the same guy that is broker than they have any idea.
Partying it up in Mar-A-Lago. And by the way, this party.
Oh yeah. So this
is when Donald Trump does
So Donald Trump does a lot of autograph signing and stuff like that. So there is some footage of him signing some naked photos, making fun of. So apparently everyone really loves this shit. And apparently this is like their favorite photo of him or something because he's making fun of trans athletes. Now, I didn't get the joke. I don't find it funny, and I don't find it objectively funny. So it's just not funny. Like I said, I will give you credit where credit is due. If you make a good joke, I will give you credit for that joke. Just like I did with the Ben Shapiro movie. That one single joke when he says, "Oh, we can play soccer." I said sports, Steven. Like, that's hilarious. That was a good joke because America doesn't really respect soccer. But again, there's nothing funny about this. It's just terrifying. Who could look at that and be like, yeah, let's put him in again.
And just so you see that it's not like an isolated event that he does this basically at all of his speeches.
Yes, he does. And it's
they
fucking
have him
pathetic.
sign that.
It is absolutely pathetic. So yeah, let's move on. Then he goes on talking about that. Okay, we got Osama bin Laden's niece, who's actually talking. So we're supposed to be on the side of Osama bin Laden, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, is it adding up yet that all these people are fucking either religious fanatics or fucking psychopaths, sociopaths, imbeciles with money? I mean, shit. Now, this is the most terrifying photo I have ever seen, because it's just goddamn terrifying to see people praying to Trump. Now, look at the face that Trump is making here, and you can clearly see a man looking at a room full of cultists going, I don't know what the fuck you people are on, but goddamn, I love ripping off every one of you dumb sons of bitches. Now, watch them continue their little white prayers.
Against yes, people that laid the
God, I would throw up in that room. It would just scare me.
Father, we thank you now, Lord, for a great favor.
Okay, now let's look again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's about 15 people in this room. Can you find anyone with even black hair? No. Sorry, do you think you're going to find a black person? Hell fucking no. That is just creepy. And then you got idiots like Tim Burchett, Timberchit. And I'm sorry, if your name is Timberchit, you need to go fuck your cousin and leave us alone. So his excuse for George Santos is that we are all sinners. And this is the fucking first country that believed in secularism.
We're going to classified briefings and the like.
To say that anybody in Congress can cast stones, I mean, we're a bunch of sinners.
Right there would be like, oh, so that means you lie about your education, background, job history, and then he would right away probably tell you, no, I went here. Yeah, right. See, yeah, you get offended, right? This is the cult of impersonality I'm talking about. It's just fucking scary. They've switched over for the Jesus guy that Olstein's always talking about to this fucking freak. And it is goddamn hysterical because he has no respect for religion. He doesn't. He really, really doesn't. And I mean, how could you blame the guy when he's treated like this? How do you respect religion when everyone kisses your ass?
Where do you draw your strength from? We're talking about faith.
The answer is
how do you
God.
do this every day? How do you get up and
say God? This is all he has to do is say a 3-letter word, 1 syllable. The answer we're looking for is God.
How do you do this? Where do you draw your strength from? We're talking about faith. How do you do this every day? How do you get up and fight for every single one of us?
It's probably the biggest question I get. The second biggest would be they're not going to be allowed to do it.
That's a question? The second biggest question you get is they're not going to be able to do that again. That's not a question. So all he has to do is say God. That's all they want to hear from him. Just
again,
say
okay, you know what that means. Okay, that's number 2. But number 1 is how do you do it? One of the reasons is that I have the highest poll numbers. People have virtually ever seen.
What world do you guys live in where this man makes sense? I live in a world of objective reality, and I cannot accept this. And it's fucking hilarious because neither does he. It is literally like watching Life of Brian all over again. He is literally telling his people that are fucking kissing his ass, fuck off. And they're just going, how do we fuck off? You know, like, oh my God. If you've never seen the movie Life of Brian, please watch the movie Life of Brian, and you will understand exactly what this shit is really like. So I'm going to end this with a very easy, simple quote from Chris Christie that I thought was, although fucking blatant, obvious, it's not to them. And although, you know, I don't like Chris Christie whatsoever, I would never vote for this guy, but I love the simple ways that he breaks it down to explain why he would never vote for Trump. And the instant thing he says is just beautiful, and you'll know it when you hear it.
Or a convicted felon.
Well, you wouldn't support him even if he isn't.
I'm a former prosecutor.
You wouldn't even if he isn't.
Right. But here's the thing, Joe. Like, it's now this has become a certainty in my view with Meadows' testimony. And so now they're asking someone like me, who's a former prosecutor, to support a convicted felon for president. Think about this. He can't even vote for himself. If he's convicted,
he goes for the drink, and he goes for the drink. Now, remember, here on the show, we love psychology, we love anthropology, and we love studying human behavior. So let's go ahead and rewatch that, but with some psychology added to it. All right, so this is basic psychology here. Once Chris Christie makes this point and says he won't even be able to vote for himself, the male co-anchor should have spoken, said anything, but he doesn't. He freezes, goes for his coffee. Now that's a tell right there. That's your ears turning red when you're bluffing, you know? So right away, reaches for the coffee. That means he doesn't want to be in this conversation. He's relying on the next person to interrupt him and start with the bullshit talking points that they're all so goddamn used to. But nobody caught it. And that's what happens when you have no spine. You run for the coffee instead of running to a point.
Support a convicted felon for president. Think about this. He can't even vote for himself.
Bam. See that? Now, as he's reaching for that cup of coffee while Christie talks, notice when he drinks it.
If he's convicted,
literally like, oh God, fill my mouth so I don't have to talk because I can't defend this shit. And Christie knows it. But notice when Christie broke it down to him, see that right there? That's licking your lips. Now, remember when we talked about Ted Bundy? Ted Bundy would close his eyes and lick his lips when he was about to say something that excited him. Now, this is where he excites himself because he gets to put it out. There you go. You see that? He took a pause. He wanted to really dig that point in there. And the guy saw it coming and went, oh shit, he's going to say something I can't fucking argue again. You're on your own, lady. Right there, the lady should have just shot herself. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'm an evil person. Come on, give me that. Yeah, that's better. All right. Remember, if you have a dark sense of humor, that means you have a higher IQ. All right? It's actually science. It's proven. All right. Well, not proven, but in most cases. All right. I'm just throwing it out there. If you have a dark sense of humor, it's because you're probably smart. So, yeah. In closing, I just want to say we all know what it's like to appreciate someone. We all know what it's like to look up to someone. We all know what it's like to have a influence. We've always had influences, whether it's your mom, whether it's your dad, whether it's your brother, or a friend. Now, a friend of mine that I grew up with, we grew up together, and we both looked up to each other. So we kind of built each other into our own, what we wanted to be, and the men we wanted to be. Guys that don't break their word, make a promise, they fucking keep it, shit like that. We built codes, we built our own morality, and it makes me wonder, where are these people going to get theirs from? It's a scary idea. Love you guys. Stay free, stay safe, stay yourselves. I'll see you on the other side. Most of all, please stay cheesy, my friends. Oh my God, I finally said it all at once. Oh.
Please note these are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? Take your hand off my penis!
The Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid!
Stay cheesy.